everyone's okay.
And sadly, in this day and time in America, it's something we have to think about. We have to be prepared for. And sadly, it's something that is a reality in more and more of our communities across the country as the weeks go by.
It's sad, like you just said, you never think it's going to happen to you until like you're in the thick of it, and it's happening to you, and it's very surreal.
Yeah, Isabella Gescos is a student, a senior at UNC Chapel Hill in the media and journalism department. She said she was just pitching a news story to one of her professors when the alert came in. Isabella, we really appreciate you giving us time here on ABC 11 Eyewitness News, and our producers will remain in touch with you. And if you get any more information, please let us know, and we'll put you back on the air here this afternoon.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Isabella, thank you, and please stay safe. We continue to watch the live feed here coming from UNC Chapel Hill. You can see one of the armed officers there in full tactical gear. There have just been dozens of officers swarming the campus from multiple jurisdictions when this call came out at 1 o'clock today for a possible active shooter, armed person on campus, and the shelter in place ordered at UNC. It immediately went into lockdown with staff and students. The nearby area of Chapel Hill, Carborough, the same, also going on there. All schools and offices in Chapel Hill and Carborough are in secure mode. And for many, this was the first day back in the public school district.
Wow.
First day of classes for traditional calendar. So this is something that many parents always fear when school begins. And as Steve said, it is a reality for so many school districts now to have drills, but this is not a drill that is unfolding at UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the latest update just in the past few minutes from UNC Chapel Hill warned that this, what they are calling an active assailant situation, they say it does continue, and the campus remains on lockdown. You can see more law enforcement arriving on this scene. Akila Davis is on campus with more details for us right now. Akila?
Yeah, Steve, just a terrifying situation here. I just watched a stream of students rush out of one of those buildings here on campus. My guess is they were being held inside from that lockdown. I also just spoke to two students who say they are back and forth text messages and phone calls with their parents who, as you can imagine, absolutely horrified. The sirens on the scene here seem to be nonstop. I've seen the town of Chapel Hill police officers arrive, university police, state troopers here. As Amber and Steve, you all said, this is the second week of class for these students. This is not what any of them were expecting. Students are indeed sheltering in place. We know that because we have not seen many, other than the stream of students that I just spoke to who were rushed out of that building. But yeah, this is just unimaginable scene here as these students, this is again the second week of school.
Akila, tell us exactly where you are. Obviously, there's a lot of police activity. Those other cruisers just pulled up, as you noted. It looks like more students are walking there across the street. Where are you exactly on campus?
They haven't, Krusty. They haven't said
anything. At the intersection of South Road and Macaulay Street for perspective purposes. My colleague Sean Coffey, he is on the other side of the scene that you are looking at here. So we've got viewers covered from both sides of this situation, Steve.
And is it your understanding that that is where the shots were fired and that's where the search began for this shooter?
We are still working to learn that information, Steve. I mean, trying to talk to Chapel Hill police, campus police on scene here. They are not giving us much to work with.
And that has been frustrating for us trying to report verified
North
information
Carolina.
on Eyewitness News. And it's also, I know, frustrating for students on campus. We just talked to Isabella Gescos, locked down in the journalism school. They're getting very little detail there. And clearly what's happening here, it would seem, is Chapel Hill police and UNC campus police are working themselves to make sense of this. And that's why just a little after 2 o'clock, they sent out another alert, Carolina, reminding people that things are still evolving. The situation continues, what they call an active assailant situation, and they are urging the campus to remain on lockdown. So that was the initial campus alert that went out. UNC Alert Carolina is their system. That goes via text message to students as well. Akila, thanks. We'll keep a live eye on what's happening there with our live feed from your crew, and we'll also check in with Sean Coffey on the other side of things. We want to show you some video that we have in right now. This is from a UNC student. His name is Nick, and he's in this classroom, in this lecture hall. And you can see exactly what's happening here. And he said that it's a little tricky because they don't have great cell service. I think so many people are using their cell phones on campus. He said that they can't place calls. So a lot of people are trying to call their parents are trying to call them. And that's been a source of obvious concern and frustration for parents not being able to reach their students at UNC Chapel Hill. He says they are texting and they're trying to reassure the people in their world that they are fine, that they are safe. But just look at this. The door is locked. And take a look at this, Amber. What these students are having to do?
Yes.
Lay on the floor. Get down. That was obviously a classroom with no windows, so there was no concern about that. But the doors are locked, and they are all hunkered down on the floor of that lecture hall, waiting for news, hoping for news, and wondering when this lockdown will be lifted.
Yeah, it's a very scary situation. As we were saying, this is their 6th day of classes, just getting back into a routine, back into the start of a new school year, and having to deal with this very real threat on UNC Chapel Hill. And of course, when you have so many people going onto the cell service at once, that can lead to issues with trying to get through. Then there's also one of my friends that's in a basement. They just can't get through because of where they are in the building. They're in the basement of a building lockdown and just stopping wherever they were in their tracks and locking doors and getting down on the ground. And that leads to a lot of issues. In this situation as well, you come to see the importance of information on sites, I guess, formerly known as Twitter, now X, where people are just trying to get information. But as we keep reiterating to you, we double check our information before we and confirm it with the correct sources before we put it out publicly. So we do see some of the same things that everyone else sees on social media. Just please know that much of that information is not verified. And so we are working to get everything verified. But in real time, we are watching this unfold with you here live on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill. And you can see all of these armed officers fully in their tactical gear, bulletproof vests, just swarming the campus and just actively searching that campus now. This has been going on for almost an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
The students have been on lockdown on the campus. That first alert went out right at 1 o'clock today that there was a possible active shooter situation on or near campus, to shelter in place, lock doors, get away from windows, and stay down.
Okay.
We do have a breaking news crew on the scene in another part of Chapel Hill. Well, we know there's some police activity potentially related to this. So we're waiting for some more information coming in from our crew on that scene as well. And when we get that, we will bring that to you here. We also know that UNC football coach Mack Brown canceled today's news conference because of the shooting. There was some activity, as we heard from the UNC journalism student, Isabella Geskos, a short time ago. She had a friend who was near the athletic buildings, and she her friend thought she heard something over there that sounded potentially like gunshots. So this was some of this activity. It appears to be have been near that side of campus.
Wow.
And because of what's happening on campus, obviously, when there's a lockdown, people are being urged to stay away from campus and lock down.
It is very scary.
That's why UNC football coach Mack Brown has canceled today.
Yes, many prayers.
Looking ahead to their season opener.
We have another former student of UNC Chapel Hill who lives right now on Franklin Street. We want to bring him in on the phone. This is Brooks Fix is the last name, I believe. And Brooks, if you could tell us just about where you are and kind of how this is unfolded for you this afternoon on Franklin Street.
Yes, I'm on Franklin Street, right by Granville Towers. I heard the sirens on campus, and I thought it was just a test. But then my friend started blowing up my phone, calling me repeatedly. He's like, "Where are you?" I said, "Hey, I'm just in my apartment." He's like, "Well, this isn't a test. This is an active situation." And my friend actually, he was on the bus to class, and he alerted the bus driver of the situation, and they pulled over. And we've been chatting ever since, but I'm just kind of stuck here in my apartment, just kind of waiting for the all clear. But it's a ghost town. It's a ghost town out here. There's nobody out here.
My goodness, it's scary.
And Brooks, you're a current student at UNC?
I graduated last year. I'm still in the area.
Okay, so you're familiar with what happens on campus and the Alert Carolina system, and you're familiar with this kind of thing. And obviously, it's a major concern to everyone on or near the campus right now. Are you hearing anything? Do you have direct knowledge of anything from any of your friends who are on campus who saw something themselves related
I do
to
not.
the shooting?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, Brooks. Well, we know it's obviously a concerning day there in Chapel Hill and the broader community and on the UNC campus. And we're glad we could talk to you here on Eyewitness News. If you learn anything else, please let us know. Our producers are in touch with you. Please let us know. And we appreciate that view from Franklin Street near Granville Towers.
Great, thank you.
Are you locked down, you said, in your house right now?
I am, yes. I'm in my apartment. I have my blinds closed, just kind of waiting for the all clear.
Maybe you could just give us a little insight too. I know that a lot of folks that are on campus that are trying to reach their parents or family and friends just having some trouble with some of the cell service. Some people are in basements and maybe just a lot of people kind of flooding the system. But have you had any trouble getting through?
I have not, no.
All right, so it sounds like where he is a good situation with that, with the communication line. So, Brooks, we appreciate you calling in and letting us know where things are, where you are. But as you said, the entire city, the entire area, Chapel Hill, has just come to a complete standstill. The businesses as well?
Yes, it's a complete kind of ghost town right now. I think everybody's just sheltering in place and hoping for the best.
All right, Brooks, we're thinking about everyone in Chapel Hill, and we appreciate you giving us that view of what's happening along Franklin Street. Please let us know if you see or hear anything else. Thank you. Sean Coffey is one of our reporters on the UNC campus right now. Sean, tell us where you are and help us make sense of what you're seeing right there. This is obviously moving quickly and changing rapidly. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What do you know?
Yeah, Steve, we are still on the corner of Raleigh Street and South Road. So we're kind of on the other side from where Aquila is located. And we've had a number, when I say a number now, at this point, at least 25 to 30 emergency vehicles that have flown by us. There's more now going by as we speak. That's probably a conservative estimate at this point. Obviously still very active scene down in that general direction down South Road. This way that we're pointing our camera is towards Wilson Library and a couple of science labs. And in just the last few moments, we've seen additional reinforcements, law enforcement, go down this road that are fully armored, wearing helmets and vests, not your kind of run-of-the-mill typical campus police officers, at least in appearance today, as well as police from NC State University, which, again, we're still efforting the latest information here, but it's not every day you're receiving reinforcements from another college campus, 30 or 35 miles away, which I think just sort of reinforces the severity and the seriousness of the scene and what's happening here at UNC Chapel Hill today. And I also actually just spoke with a graduate student. He was in Caudill Labs, which is down South Road here. It's next to Wilson Library. And he said right after that alert went off, he was in the restroom. And by the time he had gotten out of the bathroom, he said no more than 5 minutes after that text got sent out, police were already in the building and they actually interrogated him coming out of the bathroom to make sure that he wasn't armed, to make sure that he wasn't a threat. He said that they asked for his school ID. He said he didn't want to appear on camera, but he said, and he wasn't sure whether or not that was the scene that was the building, rather, Caudill Labs, that was the initial focus of their investigation. But it was in that general area because within 5 to his dorm, but that general part of campus down South Road, Caudill Labs, near the library, seems to be, at this point, the epicenter of all this. I asked him if he heard anything, if he heard those potential gunshots. He said the doors in those science chemical labs are quite heavy, so they're not effectively soundproof, but he said it can be hard to hear things if you're not right next door. So he said he didn't hear anything, but was obviously really disarmed.
They haven't said anything
and being interrogated there as he's trying to leave the restroom. He said that lab in particular, Caudill Labs, is almost all graduate students.
I know,
He's a graduate student himself, so little by little we're learning a little bit more on scene here, but that's kind of where we're out here at the corner of Raleigh and South.
Wow.
And Sean, obviously we see a lot of activity there in your live feed from the scene. Police, as you described them, more police cruisers arriving, heavily armed and armored law enforcement there. And we just saw an ambulance pull away as well. So this is just that we got that alert, Carolina, just 20 minutes or so ago, reminding everyone on campus and reminding us to pass along to everyone on campus that this is still very much an ongoing situation with what they called an active assailant, and the lockdown continues. And that's very evident in what we're seeing there.
So
where
they
you
haven't
are right
apprehended
now,
him.
this police operation continues.
We just got word that UNC is still calling this, that they are saying the suspect is still at large. The suspect is still at large. This continues to be an ongoing situation, and they are giving very little information other than stay in place, and it's still at large. So that suspect's still at large. We want to bring in right now another phone interview right now. We have Brendan Lynch, who is a junior at UNC Chapel Hill. Brendan, if you can hear me, I understand that you were walking on campus and you received that alert. Tell us where you are sheltering in place right now.
Yes. Hello. I've been sheltering in place in the Old East Residence Hall, which is adjacent to the old well on campus.
And Brendan, describe for us what happened when you were walking on campus. You got this alert. Did you hear anything? What did you see as you and your fellow students got this alert?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I was walking past Wilson Library on the main quad, and I heard this almost like a nuclear alert siren go out, followed by
thank you, Sean.
An announcer saying there's an armed and dangerous person on campus. You know, I mean, I've heard it before, and a lot of people thought it was a test. And so did I at first, but then it repeated a couple times, and
this is getting out of hand.
Running. They ran into classrooms. A lot of them just, when I say sprinted, they just sprinted to whatever doors were open and they could get into.
Crazy, man.
Thankfully, I was able to get into where I'm living. But I've seen all sorts of cars go by. There's helicopters. Now it looks like they're leading students out. It's just mayhem.
Mm. And so you're inside a residence hall right now. And how's everyone feeling in there, aside from the understandable anxiety surrounding the situation? Is everyone feeling safe in there, safe and secure in the Old East residence hall?
For the most part, yeah. Our residence hall, our RA, they reassured everyone. They've been texting us to stay in place and stay calm. And thankfully, the incident was in South Campus, so we're about a good distance away from it. But still, I mean, I can hear helicopters and I see state troopers and the Chapel police cars going by, and it's just it's pretty surreal, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
I'm getting more information as we're
really
watching this.
Obviously, for all of you on campus and for your loved ones watching this and watching our coverage right now, and all of us who are concerned about what's happening on campus. And I think the most important thing, Brendan, for you and everyone else to know is that latest Alert Carolina message that just came out moments ago saying the suspect is still at large. So it's important that everyone stay in place there where you are, locked down on the UNC campus. Were you in touch direct with anyone with direct knowledge who saw or heard anything that could help us piece things together here?
I mean, I was in Genome a few hours ago, and I have friends that are sheltering in place in Genome, the Genome Science Building, and I mean, I've heard that there's one student that's dead. Apparently, the suspect is still at large, and that he's injured two people. But from what I've heard, it was a disgruntled graduate student that started all this, and it's just really scary that someone was able to, get into this campus and do that.
Viewers who are watching right now, it's
we don't
have
know what
confirmed
started
details yet from the authorities on campus, and I asked specifically if you'd heard anything directly from someone
we haven't
who'd
heard.
seen anything.
There's been different reports.
This. And so we're seeing various reports from campus, so we just want to be cautious in how we're reporting these details, because there's a little bit of a lack of clarity.
Thank you, Chico.
From authorities on campus right now. So we appreciate you adding what you know, and obviously a huge concern there on campus in what the university describes as an ongoing situation with a suspect who remains at large. Brandon, thank you very much. Look, we're thinking about everyone there on campus, and we'll connect with you again when this is all over, and let us know if you hear anything else there on campus this afternoon.
Brendan, thank you. Okay. Please stay safe and stay in touch with our producers as this continues to unfold. And if you should be an eyewitness to anything that you think would be pertinent information for the public to know, there's many concerned people that are with loved ones on campus and just kind of watching this unfold. So we are doing the same, and we are being very cautious about what information we put out publicly. I want to run through the timeline of events happening this afternoon. 1 o'clock, UNC Chapel Hill sent out an alert for an active shooter near campus and a suspect possibly on the loose, telling everybody to go into lockdown mode, shelter in place, get low, get away from windows. That was just after 1 o'clock, so it's been about almost an hour and 40 minutes now. They instructed everyone on campus, that would be all the staff, all the students, to close the doors. This is the 6th day of class for these students on campus. So obviously going from the excitement of a new school year to the terror of what is now unfolding with this active shooter situation continuing on UNC Chapel Hill. We've heard from several students today, many of them that are sheltering in place in basements, in their apartments, in different buildings. Some have had trouble communicating with their family, trying to get through some of the cell service, some of that due to just to some of the building structures that they're in, if you are in a basement, and possibly just so many people going onto those lines. Numerous agencies have responded, as you can see here, lining the streets of a very quiet and empty campus as they continue to search for this suspect, which they are still saying that suspect is still on the loose of UNC Chapel Hill. We are texting with some students on campus. They're even saying the same thing. What do you know? We aren't seeing anything. We don't know much. They're hearing helicopters above them. They are hearing sirens of people going by. They're trying to text their friends, some of them saying things like they were in a lab coming out of the restroom and they were questioned by police asking what they were doing in that building. I believe that this may be the person who we saw in handcuffs now.
What?
A person of interest, I believe, is what that from UNC police said.
And it's very important. Let's just read along and take a look at this together here. This was just put out on X,
5
formerly
minutes
Twitter.
ago.
Just put out by UNC police. And let's read along. It says, this photo shows a person of interest in today's armed and dangerous person situation. If you see this person, keep your distance, put your safety first, and call 911.
But no one's in custody,
obviously,
right?
This is a matter of public safety right now for people in the Chapel Hill area on campus. And we want to pass this along from UNC police as soon as we got it here. So this is the person they are saying to beware of, to be on the lookout for. And if you see him, please call 911, and they're also urging people to keep their distance.
Yeah, that picture needs to be circulated. So if you can jump on your social media and share that picture. But we did see one person that was in handcuffs earlier and questioned by police. They released that person from what we could see with our photojournalist on the ground there. They walked somebody out in handcuffs. They were taking pictures to verify the identity of that person, running it against a driver's license that they kept holding up to that person's face. They took that person out of handcuffs, and we believe may still be with the officers being questioned, but we do not know if that is the same person that they are releasing the picture of. So we want to make that very clear, that they are releasing that picture that just came out, that they are asking the public now to circulate if you can.
I just want to add, if you're in Orange County, anywhere in Orange County, the OC alert system has sent out an alert as well that I want to read to you. the headline is emergency. Police report an armed and dangerous person on or near the UNC campus. If you are on campus, shelter in place. If you're off campus, stay away from campus.
We don't even.
OC
I don't think
Alert
he's
says
been
they will
apprehended
provide
yet.
updates as available. So that is the more the broad warning to people who live in Orange County from the OC Orange County Alert System. We also know the Chapel Hill Carborough school system is in a secure status right now, and those kids are being kept safe on campus. But those schools at this stage, we have not heard when they will be dismissed, only that they remain in secure status right now.
And we're keeping an eye on that situation as well. We want to bring in Beth Morocco now, who is a chair of faculty there at UNC Chapel Hill.
This is
I understand that you're also in your office sheltering in place with your door locked.
That's correct.
So they're in shelter.
Tell us about what you're seeing, what you've experienced as this ongoing search continues.
Well, we really are just getting updates through the alert system. My department was actually in a faculty meeting when we got the first alert. So many of us were here in the School of Public Health. We went into our offices, locked the doors as we were supposed to. We've been getting periodic updates, but not a lot of information. And of course, in a situation like this, there are a lot of rumors and things on social media. So it is difficult to know what's really happening.
And Beth, are you getting anything official through your channels, through the faculty channels there, through the administration, anything concrete?
I don't know.
That is helping you understand?
That's what I'm wondering
what transpired there earlier?
Is he roaming?
Nothing about the context. We did the latest update that we received said that this a suspect was still at large and that we were to remain sheltering in place if we were on campus and not to come to campus if we were off campus.
Tell us how everyone's doing. Obviously, a lot of concern. I'm sure some anxiety for people right now. Describe for us what the conversations are among you and your colleagues and any students who may be there in the School of Public Health.
Sure. There's been a lot of people checking in with people. I've had family members and students and colleagues checking in with me to see where I was and how I'm doing. I've done the same with family members and colleagues and students to check in, see where people are they safe? It's a scary situation, and we've just started our second week of classes, and it's usually a time of energy and enthusiasm, and to have something like this happen is really awful.
Beth, tell us about the kind of training you have as faculty members for this kind of thing. How does the university prepare faculty members for emergencies on campus?
Yeah, well, there are
North Carolina
active shooter training available. We get good guidelines from the administration, both at the school level and the university level. I think in many ways we are as prepared as we unfortunately need to be, but it's difficult to really anticipate what women would do in a situation like this.
Does it appear that the active shooter training you described, that things went according to plan today in terms of the response inside the School of Public Health and what you've heard across campus?
Well, fortunately, there were several people who had taken the training that was being offered at the beginning of the semester, and they instructed us on what to do. So it seemed like those instructions that were provided in the training were helpful.
Oh my God.
As I said, we dispersed to our offices and are staying away from windows and locking our doors and staying alert to any kind of messages or updates.
That's all they can do is stay alert.
Beth Morocco, the chair of the faculty there, and you are at the School of Public Health. We appreciate that perspective in helping us understand what's happening in your part of campus. And we know there's not a lot of clarity from the UNC administration or UNC police right now on exactly what happened, how it happened, and all we know right now is that the university is reminding everyone to stay in place. The lockdown continues. They describe the situation as the suspect at large, continues to be at large. So it's important that you stay there and stay safe.
So
Thank you.
Wim,
that's what I plan to do.
Hold up.
Okay, Beth, we appreciate your time here on ABC 11 Eyewitness News. Thanks.
I'm going to stop real quick. I know it's broadcasting live, but I just have a couple things I want to say. First of all, y'all dropped some hearts for lawyer Mystery Maven, who let us know in the chat that she had just dropped her daughter off at this school specifically. And she's got fam there. You guys, please keep her and her family. I mean, this is just scary, yo. You drop your kids off at school. This is not the kind of shit that you want to hear, you know? Not okay. So please, and she's a member and she's a supporter of our channel. Keep her in your prayers because she's one of the good creators on our sector of YouTube. So please keep her in your prayers. The other thing I want to say is we also have people that have professors and friends in that area. Keep those people in your prayers as well. I also want to say one more thing. Wim, thank you so much for gifting memberships. Kate, thank you for becoming a member as well. Let's keep playing this. I want to also say that to avoid misinformation, they had apprehended somebody and then they let them go because he's not the shooter. So currently the shooter is still out there, just so everybody's aware. Let me hit play.
First, let's show you this. This is the person of interest. So UNC police put out this alert. This is very important that you take a look at this, that you understand that this is the person UNC police are trying to find right now. And you can see what they said, what they posted on X. It says this photo shows a person of interest in today's armed and dangerous person situation. If you see this person, keep your distance, put your safety first, and call 911. So it's very important that that we spread the word about that person.
Person of interest,
obviously,
guys.
If you know anything, please contact.
It's on social media. Share it, please. If you have
we
social
want to check
media.
in with Josh Chapin, another of our reporters on campus. Josh, tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
Well, Steve and Amber, we are at South Columbia and Macaulay Street. I'm so taken by what that student said. I believe his name was Brooks. He said it's sort of a surreal feeling on campus when you're driving in. This is a campus where you see people walking around, people enjoying the day, a sort of not so humid day here in Chapel Hill, and you almost could feel like a pin would drop.
This is the second week of school, guys.
I'm going to have Dave go in to show you. We're standing not too far from where my colleague Akila Davis is standing, but you see just the vast number of police agencies, officers from State Highway Patrol to Chapel Hill Police to really just any law enforcement agency within the area. And you look up and you see State Highway Patrol helicopters circling just about everywhere you look. I counted at least 2 of those helicopters coming in. And when we were driving in on 54,
yes,
you could also see a
that
number
we know
of
of so
different
far,
state troopers absolutely
that there was an active
racing
shooter.
in here.
We don't know anything else
to figure out what was going on. And you mentioned that person of interest.
Thank you,
I've also
Shauna,
seen Amber been talking to my law enforcement sources this afternoon, and they sort of confirmed what was going on. I think a lot of them are quite busy right now, but I was told that a suspect was identified and his car is at his apartment.
Erica,
I believe we had a photographer at that apartment, but a suspect has been identified, and the car that they're looking for is at his apartment. And I can also tell you this afternoon that the FBI is here on scene as well, investigating this. I'm not sure at this point about injuries or anything like that. I believe at this point, actually, Dave, can you zoom in really far? I'm not sure that you folks at home can see this, but you see students. They're not walking with their hands up per se right now, but they're walking across the street. From the folks I've been talking with on campus, they're letting people go. It seems like building by building. It's an eerie sight. We were used to seeing that at like high schools around the country in these active shooter type incidents. But you see them walking across the street. It's hard for me to tell exactly what street that is, but they're walking with a number of different law enforcement agencies in the background here as the search for this suspect continues. It's eerie, but there are also people walking around. I think a lot of people are curious.
Oh my God, Catherine!
Obviously, as to this search and how it continues, but again, the FBI is involved as well as State Highway Patrol and Chapel Hill Police. I've also texted.
Police need to go in there and do their job. They're standing around, all these cops standing around doing nothing. There's people up in the building right there.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jonathan.
Jonathan. Okay, tell me your association with this university.
I got a girlfriend up in there working in there.
Okay, what does she do?
She's a chemist.
Okay. The problem is, what has she been telling you? I know you're a little freaked out right now. Can you just
tell me? Yeah. She's worried. She's freaked out. There's a gunman in there. She's worried, not got no
What?
protection. And I see all these cops standing around, all these fucking cop cars out here.
Sorry for the line.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Josh is just talking to a bystander there, a young man who is going to try to get his girlfriend out of a building who works as a chemist there on campus, and obviously he is concerned and
Oh
frustrated.
my God.
We want to go now to another UNC student, a sophomore, CC Nesbeth, who is on the phone with us right now, in lockdown in her dorm room. CC, tell us what building you're in and how you're doing.
I know he dropped the
Yeah, I'm in Morrison, which is
Lord.
a sophomore
cut him
dorm,
off.
kind of closer to campus. We're doing pretty good. We don't really have a lot of
Okay.
information. We're kind of in the dark,
Oh
but
my
we're just checking in
gosh.
on all of our friends. So
That is the concerning thing, Cece, and I know it's been frustrating for you and everyone else
Right,
on
Luna.
campus and for your loved ones and parents and all of us who are watching this
They just cut
unfold,
him
that there's
off.
just really a lack of information right now as UNC police are trying to make sense of what happened there on campus. Nothing concrete other than the lockdown continues. You need to stay there in your dorm. The lockdown is underway because they describe this armed person, this suspect, as still at large. We are watching here live on Eyewitness News right now what appears to be some buildings being cleared, people in buildings being allowed to
I know,
go.
right?
Obviously, the lockdown continues for you. Cece, you shared a picture with our producers showing what you did inside your dorm room when you heard that alert. Describe for us what you did, how you tried to fortify your room.
Gosh.
yeah, so I live in Morrison, which is like to get to our dorms, it's like open, so it's like you could technically like climb up if you wanted to. So I put my dresser, well, my roommate's dresser, and then her desk. I just use her stuff, and then put it against the door, and then me and my sleepmate locked it, and we're just on here, sitting in here.
Well, you got to do something.
Yeah, and that was good thinking.
Crazy.
I think it's unfortunately something we have to consider in today's time, how we are going to make ourselves safe if we're ever in a situation where there's a threat outside or a lockdown. And I think I'm impressed with how you responded there and putting that dresser in front of the door. And at some point this afternoon, we'll show and share with our viewers exactly what you did as you scrambled in there. I know that you said that there's just not a lot of information. How do you think? Are you talking to people outside of Morrison, and are you texting with your friends? How do things seem to be going? What's the state of mind across campus right now?
Should I hang up?
Wow, they
I was
can't
just
really
asking
hear her.
how people are doing outside. I'm sure you're in touch with your friends, texting with your friends outside of Morrison. How's everyone seem to be faring right now?
Oh,
I think we.
sorry, I lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's okay, Cece. I was just asking how people are doing outside of Morrison. What you're hearing from your friends and class out of Morrison.
Everyone's pretty scared. I know in our dining hall, Chase, they're saying that the doors are still kind of unlocked, which they're pretty scared about. But most of my friends say that their classrooms that they're in are locked down and they're all hiding underneath their desks and stuff.
That is crazy.
And we are being very cautious in what we're reporting and how we're reporting it here on Eyewitness News this afternoon. Cece, we know there is a lot of word about what potentially happened, potential injuries, that sort of thing. That we're waiting until we get verified information from UNC police. And again, I think the important thing to remember is that they describe this person, this assailant, this armed person.
They're
as
putting him
still
on
being on the loose.
blast.
And this person you're seeing on your screen right here, this is the person of interest, what UNC police have described as a person of interest, urging anyone who sees that person to keep their distance and also call 911 at the same time. And
Is he
Cece,
armed and
anything else
dangerous
that
too?
you can add about what's happening inside your dorm or observations you have from campus this afternoon?
Nothing really to add. We're all just kind of on lockdown and making sure we're okay.
Well, absolutely, and we appreciate you helping us understand what's happening on campus. And let's okay. So now I'm told by our control room we have this image here, Cece. We're actually showing this on the screen right now. What you shared with us, this picture you took inside your dorm room, where you put your roommate's dresser there to kind of block the door. And what I see, it looks like, Cece, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you put the dresser there and then you put a desk in front of the dresser. It looks like you were taking no chances there.
That
Yeah,
is
my suite who's with me decided that we should do both, so we just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, no, that's smart. You know, we've been asking people as we've been talking to people, professors and students on campus, what kind of training you have for this kind of thing, what kind of drills you have for this kind of thing, how your RAs and other people there talk about this kind of thing, how your professors talk about this unfortunate reality in our country right now where we have to be prepared for this kind of thing. What's your experience with that kind of training or drills or the knowledge that you have as a student there?
Personally, I don't think we've done any drills, or at least while I've been here. We just got back to school like a week ago, so we haven't done anything or talked about anything like that yet. But yeah, we really haven't had any training or anything like that.
Well, you reacted in an impressive way there, Cece, in your dorm room at Morrison Hall, and we appreciate you calling in here on Eyewitness News. We're thinking about everybody on campus. We know it's a very difficult afternoon. And
is the reporter coming back with the guy?
And
because I'm seeing his face. I kind of wanted him to talk.
We understand exactly why. So, Cece, stay safe. Remember, the lockdown continues. The UNC police are saying that this person they are looking for is on the loose right now, still out there. So, we hope the lockdown will be lifted and things will get back to normal very soon for you.
Cece, thank you, and stay safe. We want to let you know that we do have some information from the school system, from Chapel Hill Carborough School System, that they are telling us that we know elementary dismissal time was at 2:35. Buses have been lined up there at the schools, but until they receive an all clear from proper authorities that they are just going to keep all students and staff safely indoors. So schools have been directed not to release students to their families at this time. That is for all of the surrounding Chapel Hill Carborough schools, which we've been saying many return to school today for traditional calendar. So this is how they are spending their first day back in the classroom, with a search ongoing for an active assailant on UNC Chapel Hill's campus, with dozens of authorities just swarming the campus there at this hour. This started at 1 o'clock today, so a good 2 hours that this campus has been on lockdown. Students, staff, everyone is sheltering in place, and we're really just hearing the same thing from all of them. They are some limited in information, just searching and scouring social media, but also just seeing the importance of these live pictures as this is unfolding right now in real time. And we're watching a lot of this at the same time with you.
All right, let me stop it right here. And I want to shout a couple people out. First of all, Welch Dragon, thank you so much for the 10. He says, Rabbit, oh my God, it's terrifying. Please, God, let everyone be safe. That is the point here. And I'm was getting distracted by the chat. I understand that some folks might not necessarily like this kind of coverage. I guess I'm a little confused, but there's some real families and lives and everything here. Okay, I have a creator in the chat, a member of my channel, who has family that is being affected by this as we speak, and she's having to check on her daughter. This is the second week. All right, so for those that are here calling this a fake or whatever, I have a problem with that, because the person that I talk to is not fake. She's a real person. She's a real lawyer. The people here in my chat that are saying that they have family members there, they're not fake. They're real. So I just want to be very clear that if you pull that shit up over here when we're talking about somebody's situation right now, yeah, you will be blocked or removed. All right, yeah, this is happening, and she just dropped her daughter. So please and thank you, have a little respect. You don't have to agree with anything, but please have a little respect for everybody. Thank you.
The story from there and your experience just watching this. I know you didn't hear the gunfire, but just tell me a little bit about yourself.
I mean, yeah, I moved here a week ago, and obviously you hear about stuff like that on the news, and I was not expecting it to actually happen that quickly. I told my family nothing is going to happen. It's safe. I'm kind of doubting that right now. Would you be used to that? Like, I think everyone's feeling the same right now, and I don't know what to feel. I can say that I've never witnessed something like that where I'm from.
And where are you
goodness.
From? I'm from Germany, Berlin. And obviously, in my opinion, that is due to differences in gun policies. I just have to say that.
Yeah. And tell me what you came here to study.
I study poli-sci, political science. I'm a grad student. So I do deal with issues like that in the classroom. Seeing it like play out like that in real life kind of gives you a different
That's
perspective.
A good point.
Kind of makes it more important to talk about gun laws, I think. I don't think this would have happened. Yeah.
And you see, look at this gentleman, a couple of state troopers walking around, guns drawn. You know, as you said, this is not something you're used to seeing in Berlin.
No, it's definitely not. I mean,
oh my God,
we
this
obviously
guy looks
have a lot of history and stuff like that happening. There used to be a lot of military in the city like 30 years ago, but I think we've come a long way, and I think it's good that way. I think you shouldn't be used to seeing guns in public. That should not be happening.
Tell me a little bit about, have you texted with anybody that's in these buildings here, or anybody that's been in these buildings or anywhere close to what was going on today?
I don't know anyone personally. We were all just sitting in our classroom. Obviously, everyone's trying to find out if they know anyone that has been affected. I think everyone's just very scared and upset right now. Yeah, but I don't know anyone personally in there.
When you think about it, not just you as a grad student, but the kids who have started undergraduate here a week ago, their first experience, and then they're being walked out of the building, maybe not with their hands up as we're used to seeing, but walked carefully out of the building. As you said, emotionally, that's got to take a toll on you and these other students.
I mean, some of these students are, 18 years old? I think, I don't know if I can go back to class tomorrow or even next week. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to just walk around on the street here if I know stuff like that can actually happen. I don't know if how it's for an 18-year-old. Probably worse, probably traumatizing. And again, I think that shouldn't happen, and it doesn't have to happen.
And tell me about the campus here. You know, you come to Chapel Hill a week ago. It's vibrant. There are people walking around. I described it as kind of eerie right now. When you drive in, you're used to seeing so many people walking on the street, and it was like you could hear a pin drop when you're driving into campus.
Yeah, I've never seen campus this quiet.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's scary. Obviously, it's weird. I think everybody's kind of in shock as well. I don't know what to feel right now. And I don't know if I can see campus the way I did before again.
Okay, Jose, thank you for your time. I appreciate your perspective and the information.
Yeah,
we
Germany. He said
the
Germany.
Federal authorities are here. The FBI is here, and we're going to continue to press those law enforcement sources to try and drill down some.
Now, that's a very good question and point. Okay, the shooter is still at large, and they're over here doing interviews. Like, how do they even know that the area that they're at is safe? Just a question, you know?
He's walking around with guns drawn, and that's about all we know, right? We don't know too much. We do have that picture circulating now, but we'll continue to press for some better information as the afternoon goes along, and continue to talking to folks like Jose to give us some perspective as to what it's like this afternoon.
That is crazy, yo.
Yeah, very interesting conversation with Jose, just arriving, a grad student at UNC, a grad student from Berlin. Josh, so to help us understand,
Jane.
You've covered obviously a lot of situations, police, law enforcement operations, that sort of thing. It struck me that those two, you described as potentially state troopers walking by, they were heavily armed and armored. They had their body armor on, but they didn't look like they were proceeding with in a deliberate way and in a certain direction. So it would seem to suggest that things are calming in some respect, at least in that part of campus.
Yes,
I think that's a fair characterization of it. I mean, we also saw some what appeared to be ununiformed officers in tactical vests, which honestly, if you covered any of these incidents, just
I agree, Monica.
They don't have to rise to this sort of level, but
I agree.
You do see them sometimes walking around like this with guns, with long guns drawn, and these folks were not running into any particular situations. The troopers were walking away from me, and the other folks who were in tactical gear were just walking down Macaulay Street casually.
Pretty much,
They weren't running after everyone. So if they're letting folks out of classes, it means they're clearing these buildings. You do hear sounds like this every once in a while, and I don't know that they're necessarily running after anyone. They're just maybe clearing the scene and going somewhere else if they get a ping from this suspect's vehicle.
And just to remind everyone, what's happening there on the UNC Chapel Hill campus. The university police say that the lockdown continues. What they were describing in their last correspondence that it is an active assailant situation. That is their description of what's happening, reminding everyone, if you're on campus, stay secured. If you're off campus, stay away from campus. Again, that person we're showing on the left side of your screen, that
Your
is the
granddaughter's
person
freaking
described
out,
as a
freaked
person
out.
of interest in this case. UNC police saying if you see him, stay away, keep your distance, and call 911 right away. But it's very important that everyone in that community, and frankly across the triangle, be on the lookout for that person and call 911 right away if you see him.
And we should add that along with UNC Chapel Hill on lockdown, the school systems in the surrounding area are on lockdown, and Chapel Hill is asking people to stay away. In fact, Duke just sent out some info that they have stopped bus service to Chapel Hill in an effort to just keep people away from that scene there. So they just sent that out via their news site at Duke. And that is what they are asking the public to do right now, which is also leading to the surrounding school districts being continually on lockdown. So I know that there are just thousands of families that are trying to get their kids home from their first day of school in the Chapel Hill Harbor school system. And we have been notified that those school districts, until they get the all clear from authorities, they have been directed not to release students to their families at this time. The buses are in place, but the staff is also staying safely indoors along with the students. So Chapel Hill Harbor City Schools is letting everyone know that until they get the all clear from local authorities, that they are just going to do the same and just continue sheltering in place.
We're also getting some help, some notification from UNC Health, some news from UNC Health. They're saying UNC hospitals in Chapel Hill, they are on lockdown as well as a precaution. Their outpatient clinics on the UNC campus are closed for the rest of the day. So if you know anybody who has a medical appointment at one of the clinics at UNC Health in Chapel Hill on campus at the in the heart of the UNC campus around UNC hospitals, those appointments were canceled. And obviously no visitors, no one coming and going, because UNC hospitals, all of the UNC hospitals, that entire complex, they are on lockdown as well, consistent with what is happening all across campus right now.
And you can see on your screen, we continue to have that picture up. That is the picture released by UNC police. It says what they sent out is this photo shows a person of interest in today's armed and dangerous person situation. If you see this person, please take a good look at this photo. And if you can, circulate it on your social media. They are saying, though, keep your distance if you see this person.
I got to show you guys
put your safety
something
first and call.
Let me stop right here, okay? I gotta navigate to a different screen real quick. Let me go to Twitter real quick. So 27 minutes ago, I guess people are releasing images. It's on Twitter. I hate covering these. I'm just telling you, can you guys see that? It looks like it was recorded from a cell phone. Look at this. I think this is police. I don't know if this is a dorm room or what. Did you see that, Sean? This is being recorded from a window. Escorting students. I'm just playing it over and over so you guys can see. So ABC 11, because I know, Sean, you were talking about ABC 11. Shout out to Sean in the chat. But ABC 11 said that there was a confirmed something about a suspect in custody, but it wasn't it. They actually deleted the tweet and said that they're still searching for the suspect, for those that are wondering. So there's pictures of somebody who looks like it's a suspect, but I guess it's not. All right, let me go real quick. Let's go back real quick, okay, to Twitterland. Here it is. So this is the person that is at large currently right now. Let me see if I can. This is the images that we just showed. Okay. Let me see what else. Areas are, look at this. People are retweeting that image specifically. Okay. So that everybody's aware. Oh, my goodness. My computer's so sensitive. Is it Takiel Q? I don't even know how to say his name. So did somebody spot him? How did they identify him? We have so many questions. Hold up, y'all. Let's see. Oh my God, this sound is so horrible.
The sirens on the scene here seem to be nonstop. I've seen the town of Chapel Hill police officers arrive, university police, state troopers here.
This is
As Amber and Steve, you all said, this is the second week of class for.
second week of class, okay? Second week of class. But this image right here is just so scary. Hold up, y'all. Oh my goodness. Can y'all imagine this? This is what gets to me. Right. But it's getting too crazy. I mean, are you supposed to like not only buy books for your child who's going off to college, but also buy them a shooting like a vest? What are you supposed to do now? Like this is, and I mean, where is campus police? Really? Really? So are they diverting them to private Cobra channels? EMS fire still public? Yes, what interests me is the person filming is not walking with them. What are they doing? Right. So I don't think that don't you think, no, Monica, this is a good point. Don't you think they would have been escorting them? Like what are we supposed to do, man? These kids can't even, I say kids because well, I'm older than them, but come on now. I was in a dorm at one point. I didn't have to worry about things like that. Why do people have to worry about this stuff now? Why is this stuff happening? Oh my goodness. I heard CNN saw a bunch of bloggers covering it and they jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it takes now. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the bigger channels now pay attention. Of course, News Nation is live. They pay attention to us, and then they say, "Well, yeah, we're going to cover it." I don't know if anybody has noticed that, but I feel like News Nation and all these bigger outlets take a look to see what we're doing to figure out whether they're going to cover something.
Not a drill for so many people. Very scary.
That's what they do now.
So, we're watching it with you. A lot of thoughts with all of you all at UNC Chapel Hill. And I know your families are concerned, and this is
always
really just something that is going to have to be with you for some time. So please stay in touch with us here and let us know if there's anything more that you would like to share with us. And going forward, if there's anything you would like us to help get out to the public. We appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, we're thinking about you, Bailey, and we
right.
hope that things resolve themselves very quickly.
Thank
Bailey
you,
Hughes, in the student union, in a women's restroom right now, a total of eight students there with her inside that
oh
building.
My God.
She is a first-year student, obviously a very challenging beginning to her UNC career. We want to check in with Sean Coffey now, our reporter on the scene. He's actually here where we've been watching that live feed. And Sean, this is an encouraging sign, as we were just describing and talking through with Bailey, that it appears that some buildings are being cleared
student?
and people are being allowed to move on past that part of South Campus where you are.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. About 5 minutes ago, we saw a group of, I'd say, 15 to 20 students that came out across South Road here with their hands up or on their head. Actually, I think maybe if Skeeta can zoom in above these lights, you're about to see another group doing the same thing here and crossing South Road, which I agree is an encouraging sign at this
got
point.
Their hands up
you
over
see
their
now
head.
they're walking in single file past that line of lights. That's near the entrance to the north side here. We're kind of on the north side of Keenan Stadium as a point of reference here. This part of South Road kind of runs alongside the sort of the northern edge of that stadium. Previously, we saw those students make a right turn as they're doing right now and walk in that direction, which is towards the stadium there. But obviously, they are in the process of clearing buildings. We just spoke to someone who was in Wilson Library, which is down South Road in the same direction here as now we have what appears to be some sort of SWAT vehicle that's arriving on scene as well. The person that was in the library said that they were in the process of clearing the library too. They're going building by building. This is a good point of clarification because obviously campus does remain on lockdown. Their students are still being told to shelter in place. So obviously you're not advised to go outside unless you're directed to do so by law enforcement. But slowly but surely it does appear that UNC police are in the process of doing that. I also wanted to speak about a conversation I had a little while ago with a professor, a science professor who was in Caudill Labs down South Road here. That's actually the same laboratory, if you recall, that I spoke with the grad student from earlier. That student was interrogated as he was leaving a bathroom right after that alert went out over his phone. He said he was just coming out of the bathroom. There were already law enforcement officers in there just a few minutes later who asked for his ID, asked him, searched his belongings, made sure he wasn't armed. And this professor who was in that same lab described a very similar scene. He said that police had cleared the building, which is why he was allowed to leave, but he was interrogated as he was leaving. Again, he said he wasn't sure that that's where this incident started, but that general part of campus appears to be the epicenter. He said that there's still a heavy police activity in that part of campus down South Road here in the area of Bell Tower Drive as well, and by Stone Center Drive too. That's right on the other side of Moorhead, Patterson, Bell Tower. But from our vantage point here, and again, we haven't been able to get more than a few hundred yards from this line of police vehicles. The law enforcement presence is only increasing, but obviously there's a very strong perimeter here. But from our vantage point here, it does appear that more and more students are kind of walking away from this area of campus, which is obviously a good thing at this point.
Yes. Okay, let me stop right here. And it sounds like they are I think that's a good thing if they're releasing more students and allowing them to walk. I do have to head out because I got to go tend to baby bunny, and I got this like nasal headache thing going on right now. I'm trying my best to what is it? Use the neti pot or whatever for it. I haven't heard anything yet. I would suggest you guys go to the Ikamel's channel. I did have the mods drop the link for his channel because he's covering it as well. Something's got to be done here. Lawyer Mystery Maven, Catherine, all of you guys, Shanna, those of you guys that have families and stuff, I mean, please keep us updated and let us know what we can or can't do. Please, please, please keep these families in your prayers. Shout out to everybody. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you, Gen X. I appreciate you. Keep that family in your prayer. Keep all of them in your prayers. And I hope that we get some good news here. This guy is still at large. We need to figure out where he's at. A PhD student. I don't know why everybody's so surprised. I mean, the Aurora theater shooting was a PhD candidate as well. I don't know, something about mental health and all this stuff that's going around, weapons and everything. Maybe something that needs to happen. I don't know. I'll let you guys go. I will see you guys on the next one, and hopefully I can provide an update. Rabbits out, guys. Please take care. Rabbits out.